Hi.
Is this?
I'm so sorry for all the technical difficulties.
I'm just glad you heard us and you could hear that you can call into the show.
Oh, yeah, that's wonderful.
So this is as we begin to talk to you. Let's just ask you about kind of the state of your team right now. I know you're 7-8, but you have 6 games left on the busy last 2 weeks of the season for you guys. Where do you think you guys are right now as a program?
Last year was a very big rebuilding year for us. We had lost 8 seniors and had 3 freshmen starting. So I knew this year would be a step up, and it has become that. The kids have really grown throughout the year, and they're still growing. We've already beaten a few teams that we lost in the beginning, and I really think this end stretch is going to go really nice.
Who are some of the people that you're really counting on to lead this team and be leaders? Shout out some of your vocal and emotional leaders of the program.
First off, our senior Zara Cunningham she has been a strong leader for a couple of years now. She leads the league in blocks. She's a powerful hitter, great middle. She's definitely a force that has really pushed us forward. I'm also very lucky to have a new freshman, Quinn Justum, who stepped up as a setter at kind of a last-minute issue. We had somebody that decided they changed their mind playing, and she got thrown in kind of like into the pack of wolves, if you will. Really, really kicked it up and came full force and has just shown so much improvement and so much teamwork throughout the season. And she's going to be quite a player for the next couple of years.
When you look at the scope of your schedule, and we were talking before you came on about this next week that you have. You have 2 games this week, which is pretty normal for volleyball, but next week you have 4 games in 4 days, and the volleyball schedule can be really grueling. What are kind of you looking for from your team in the next couple of weeks as you get ready for the end of the regular season and tournament time?
I'm looking for consistency in them. We have some moments where we kind of can go up and down, and it'll be interesting to see how 4 games has them, if they're still playing just as hard on Thursday as they did on Monday. As we approach that week, I think it's really nice to have those 4 games because it's really going to prep us for tournaments that starts the next week. But consistency in their level of play is definitely going to be a huge thing that we're going to need to finish the season off right.
Yeah, and you said consistency. That is such a big thing in volleyball. What are some things that you guys do in the gym per se that kind of the drills or the fundamentals that you guys do in practices? You don't get a lot of them because 4 games in 4 days. But when you do get gym time, what kind of things do you do to try to keep consistency and keep communication on the floor?
Well, it's consistency is the theme here. I will go with our one consistent thing we do in every single practice is we start off with serving. The kids serve every single day, every practice, all year long. They start off just warming up, and then we do some serving games, and then we do some spot serving drills. So I think that is one of the biggest parts of the game that are super important for kids. Besides that, everything else is pretty random depending on what we are working on. A lot of serve receive, that's pretty much a go-to every practice. But if we're lacking in digging out of the net, we throw that in. If we're having a struggling time hitting off of the net or in awkward locations, we'll throw some of that in. So we change it up for the most part, but serving is something that I live or die for our practices, absolutely.
When you talk about serving and the aggressiveness of the serves, what's kind of your philosophy with that? So, because I know some volleyball coaches like to kind of lax the aggressiveness a little bit and focus on maybe putting it in a spot, and then some coaches like to really amp up the aggressiveness and try to get people out of system with their serves. So, what part of the line do you fall with that?
Well, first and foremost is just the consistency in getting the ball in the court. We start off there. And then I do spot serving with every single kid, whether their ability is strong or mediocre. I do think that in a clutch period of time, it's important that every kid knows, has some idea of like how to get it there and, each spot and what they need to do. And then I like to, as the kids get older and they become more secure in what they're doing, I like to get them to have some variation. So if we have a team who's not great with float serving or with some top spin, we can throw that in and they know how to do it.
Let's preview this matchup tonight with Chalker. What are some things that you expect from your team? What are some things that you expect from the other side? What do you want to see tonight from your girls to get the win over Chalker tonight?
I'm hoping that with Chalker, we go out like we did the last time, and maybe a little stronger. I think that they didn't give Chalker enough credit last time and thought that it would be a little bit easier to win, and it ended up being a 5-game series. They have a really great setter over there, so some understanding of being aware of her ability to just kind of toss the ball over in a way that you're not going to expect it to be coming is something that they're going to have to be aware of. Definitely being prepared for some of those little surprises. And if they go in with that attitude and giving them a little more credit than they did last time, I think that we will be okay. If we go in not giving them the credit they deserve, then it might be a tougher game than I'm expecting.
What do you think? Every coach has expectations and kind of a way they think the season is going to go going into the season when you start. What has been the biggest surprise from this team this year?
Well, we started off our season. I had everything basically like lined out last May, which is not normal, but I had the same kids coming in that I did last season. Then I had 3 starters at the beginning that either decided not to play or quit, left the school and went to another school. So at last minute, it was the week before our game, we completely changed everything. So I think I really I went from thinking, oh my gosh, we are ready to go to what are we going to do? And my I've been very happy with how the kids really have come together. We've switched up the lineup so many times. We've had some kids out for quarantining. We're a little lower on kids than we normally do. We usually have a lot more. And their ability to transition with different teammates in different positions or to switch to a different position themselves has been phenomenal this year.
Coach, I know you have a tight window. We don't want to keep you for too long, but before we let you go, I do want to give you the chance to kind of highlight some of your assistants and the coaches that kind of help you make this program what it is. Because we know as much as we love our head coaches and we highlight them as much as we can, we know that you can't do it without the people around you. So just highlight some of the assistants and the other coaches in the program that help build what it is right now.
Well, I'd have to give a huge help to Callie Apthorpe, a wonderful thank you and shout out. She has been my assistant coach for years, and this year, sadly, Youngstown State, you stole my assistant coach. She is finishing up a master's in physical therapy, but she still comes out all the time and volunteers whenever she can during this year where she's just really focusing on school and has been such a huge help. She was also a player, a senior, my very first year of coaching. So we go back quite a bit of ways, and she has been, I couldn't do it without her. This year, my assistant covering for Callie is Jordan Burns, who is new to coaching, but has thrown herself completely into it and really makes such a great difference for me. It was so great of her to throw herself out there and jump in and learn as she goes.
Perfect segue to kind of shout out the YSU volleyball team that is playing Wright State today, the reigning Horizon League champions, and they if your assistant coach is going to go somewhere, you might as well be a Division I volleyball team, right?
Absolutely.
Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We apologize for obviously the technical difficulties, but we were so glad that we were still able to talk to you and catch up with the program. We look forward to talking to you again real soon, and we would definitely wish you luck the rest of the way.
All right, thank you so much for having me.